Hello everyone, let's start with another poem, The Patriot. It is a dramatic monologue written by the renowned English poet and playwright Robert Browning. He is well known for his dramatic monologues and is widely celebrated as one of the foremost poets of the Victorian era. In this poem, Browning talks about politics, patriotism, religious faith, and the harsh reality of the leaders who are true to their sense of patriotism. It speaks about the sacrifice of such leaders who are misunderstood by the people. It is important for you to understand that the speaker of the poem is a patriot. The poem is a monologue of this patriotic speaker who narrates his tale to us as he has been taken to the scaffold to be executed publicly for his misdeeds. He tells us of his situation, how he was once well loved by everyone and how he is now despised by the same people. The patriot is innocent of having done any misdeeds, and it is only out of the misunderstanding of the people that he is being put to death. His death sentence is for the wrong reason, and although he tried to persuade the people to listen to him, it has done him no good. Let's begin. It was roses, roses all the way, with myrtle mixed in my path, like mad. The house roof seemed to heave and sway, the church spires flamed. Such flags they had a year ago on this very day. The poet in the first stanza is describing the kind of welcome he received on the very day a year ago. He describes how people have come out of their houses to have a glimpse of him. They have put roses and myrtles on the road to welcome him. The roofs of the houses of the streets from where he was going were so crowded that they seemed to swing. The towers of the churches were decorated with many flags that it seemed that they were up in flames. The description is that of the grand welcome of the patriot who is much loved by all. In the second stanza, the speaker continues that even that day the air was filled with cheerful sounds of bells. Moreover, he describes that thousands of people crowded against the old walls of the houses. They even cheered and cried out for the hero, that is, the speaker. So the poet remembers that he had even promised them to bring the sun for them. Here the poet uses the sun to denote that the speaker was even ready to do any deed for his countrymen. In the third stanza, the poet expresses his dismay at the thought presented in the last stanza and says that instead of asking for the sun from the gathered crowd, he is the one who leaped at the sun to give it to the crowd. He moreover adds that there is nothing in this world which a man can do, which the patriot did not do. And then, after a year, when the patriot looks at the result of what he has given to the people, he finds it to be disheartening. Stanza number 3 begins with the poet giving a subtle reference to the old Greek mythological tale of Icarus and Daedalus. Now Icarus was the son of the great inventor Daedalus, and the story revolves around the escape of these two men from a high tower where they were held prisoners by making wings out of bird feathers and wax. Icarus, taken aback with the ability to fly, flies too close to the sun, which causes the wax in his wings melt and his eventual fall kills him. Similarly, just like Icarus, the speaker is going to face his downfall, which he now realizes after a year. In the fourth stanza, a year later, from where the patriot starts narrating the welcome that he received, he is now again being taken through the streets. But this time there is no one on the housetops. He can only see a few paralyzed people who are left beside the windows as they cannot move. This time people have gathered at the Shambles Gate, that is, the place where the patriot is about to be hanged publicly. The patriot further adds that all will agree that they have gathered around the scaffold to watch him being hanged. In stanza number 5, the patriot describes that he is going in the rain, more than what is needed, which may literally signify that when he is about to be publicly hanged, it was raining all around. Usually a person's wrists are tied together behind before the person is hanged. The patriot says that the wrists are tied so tightly that they were bleeding. At the same time, stones are being pelted at him from all sides by the people who have gathered there, and his forehead is bleeding as he is hit by a stone. The patriot says that he is being stoned for the misdeeds that he has done for a year. In stanza number 6, the patriot thus concludes the poem by saying that, "Thus I enter and thus I go." The patriot entered the town a year ago when it was roses and roses all the way, and a year later he is being publicly hanged, with stones being pelted at him. People have welcomed him a year ago, and now people wish him to be killed. He is thus being paid by the world. But the patriot thinks that it is good that he has met his death, as it is now God's turn to pay him for his deeds, and therefore he thinks he is in safer hands. The final 3 lines of the stanza deal with the ideas of the speaker. Yet again we see Browning's stout religious belief. He believes that God might say, "Your sins are already washed away when you died. The people saw to it. They punished you. What now do you expect from me? You are now free of all corruption." Thus, the patriot thinks that the punishment he got in the mortal world has purged him, and that he hopes to go to heaven instead of hell. He feels safer knowing that God knows he stood for what he thought was right, and thus he will be safe under him.